Put it on the right speaker.
Good morning.
Good morning, Karen. You ready to get started?
Yep.
How do you turn that on? Okay, good morning. This is a special meeting of the Lake Mohave Ranchos District Governing Board, 3/29/19 at 9:02 a.m. Before I call to order, Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum?
We do have a quorum.
Okay, I hereby call this meeting to order. Roll call of the board members.
Ellen Ray Bauer.
Eric Terrell.
Charlotte Kiffer.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, calling the public and correspondence. Any public? Okay, does somebody want to read that correspondence into the record? Yes,
Sure.
All right.
This comes in via email through the Chamber of Commerce. Good afternoon. This is a reach out from the Dolan Springs Chamber of Commerce to express our disgust at what is going on with our current chief, Tony DeMaio. It seems the current board is on a witch hunt to get him out. I personally, as president of the Dolan Springs Chamber, feel that this has been unprofessional and a personal attack by existing board president and certain board members. The ignorance of the success of Chief DeMaio has accomplished is not acceptable. I commend Chief for tolerating the personal accusations, then disproving them. Chief DeMaio even suggested the video equipment for recording meetings never had anything to hide, just wanted to clear. I have also admired Chief DeMaio for the attention given to assist our community in becoming aware of safety measures being put in place. He has attended our health fairs and makes his presence known at all school functions. Just approved having the fire truck at this year's Earth Fair at the school April 25th. Our KADS student group enjoys providing your hardworking staff at the station some meals and treats and refreshments, always accepted with a smile on their faces. My thoughts are attempt to resolve the personal issues brought forth to make it clear to the residents how Chief DeMaio did appreciate working for our community. Many residents are just plain sick of a few individuals who are active in many organizations that aren't running successfully at this time. Constant competition, gossip, and rumors divide our residents to question who is actually succeeding in promoting the town with a positive image. Please accept this as concern expressed about what is happening, more encouragement for townspeople to get involved at meetings should happen. Thank you, Carol Ann Rivera, current president, Dolan Springs Chamber, coordinator of KADS of Mohave County, current board member of the Dolan Springs Neighborhood Watch.
What was the last one? Current what?
Current president of the Dolan Springs Chamber of Commerce.
Neighborhood Watch Board.
Current board member for the Dolan Springs Neighborhood Watch.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do we have any other correspondence? That was it.
That's all I have.
Okay. We'll move on to 5, business. Section 8, discussion possible action regarding clerical duties for the chief performs by Ms. Ray Bauer.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify, Chief, what exactly how you do your day, because you had said that you pick up the mail, process the mail, all this. I want to know exactly step by step so we know what we need to get covered as far as day-to-day clerical duties in the station that is not normally a chief's duty. So we want to be able to include that when we go looking for somebody to man the station.
Well, as I said, I pick up the mail, I go through the mail, which the chief should always go through all the mail to make sure that he doesn't miss anything in the mail. Approving payroll. I do not input payroll into QuickBooks. That's not one of the things that I do. I approve payroll before it is sent to Karen to be put into QuickBooks, and I review the report afterwards, as well as does Gabe Boldra. So in order to go through all of that, I would have to go through a list, but
No, we don't need all of that. It's more like the day-to-day, how you process the mail, receivables, how that's,
I process the mail, I go through the receivables, I make copies of all the EOBs and send them out to the medical biller. I do the desktop deposits in-house. And then whatever day-to-day operations, answering phone calls, filling out and submitting public records request, medical records request, along with all the other things. So.
and when you do the receivables, how does that, payables, payables. You pick up the checks?
Well, when we get the bills, we go through the bills, they're put in the payables file, and then when we're ready to do payables, I sit down via TeamViewer with Karen, and we go over all the payables. We review the payables. Payables are entered into QuickBooks. The checks are printed here, and it's all organized and set out for the board members to come and sign the checks. Once the checks are signed, they're put in the envelopes and mailed out.
So you pick up you get the bills from the mail, you sort them out, you have them in a file. You go through them with Karen?
Yes. When we're ready to do payables, I sit down with Karen. I have Karen on the phone and on TeamViewer on the computer.
Okay. And then she enters them into QuickBooks?
And she enters them into QuickBooks. I put the checks in the printer. We print the checks out. We go through them all again, make sure they're all correct.
Oh, so you have QuickBooks on your computer here too in the station? So you have three
We
people?
have no, I'm on TeamViewer.
Right, but
So
you...
we have QuickBooks on the laptop.
Mhm.
She can TeamView in and work on QuickBooks on the laptop.
Right.
I do not have a QuickBooks login. I do not log into QuickBooks. I do not go through QuickBooks.
I'm just curious how the checks get printed here.
Well, when she's TeamViewing on the laptop, we put the checks in the printer, and since the laptop is here and QuickBooks is open here, she can hit the print button. And
So
it goes
she
to
can
the
print the checks on the printer here?
Yes.
From there, okay.
Through TeamViewer.
Through TeamViewer, okay. Does that require a password to get to TeamViewer? I'm sure it
Yes.
does.
As you know, when you did the minutes,
Yeah.
we set you up a TeamViewer account, you had to log in with the password, so.
So then after the checks are printed, so you've got a pile of checks there, you separate them and put them in their respective spots. And then the board comes in and signs.
Yes.
Okay. And then the check stub with the bill gets filed.
Yes.
in a place
After the
here.
checks are signed and I put them in the mail, the check stub and the bill is placed in the files.
Okay, pretty well. I think covers the process. We already had pretty well detailed the payroll process. You did that.
Right.
already, So, okay, alrighty. Well, I guess we can ask you if we have any more questions on that one. But that seems sufficient for the time being.
Any more questions on this item?
No.
Call that as completed. Item B, discussion of possible action regarding IGA's information, reference KFD, Bolton Fire Department, Golden Valley Fire Department, and John Flynn, reference information received for possible contract for services. Ms. Kiffer.
Well, I believe you were directed as the chair to contact us.
I was. I have been in contact with Chief Moore, and Chief Moore indicated that we couldn't get any more information from Golden Valley, who would be our best opportunity since they're on the same channels as this station. We won't know anything more from them until April, the middle of April. You directed me also to ask questions regarding the process for hiring a chief. And according to Chief Moore, there's multiple ways to do it. What we discussed at our last meeting, that there'd be a board that would interview potential clients or chiefs, and you could do it that way. NACFED did it that way, and the way he explained it to me was NACFED did it that way. They weeded it down to 2 people, and then the board member said no. So after all that process, they still got nothing. He says the first most important thing he said would be your job qualifications, but he also mentioned that because of our location, that the board decides all of this. The board can interview all candidates. It doesn't have to go through, you know, the big interview process. He says we don't have to go with any minimum qualifications, and I said, well, that would be pretty silly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I want to hire Joe Bob off the street that's never seen a fire truck before in the station. He says, yeah, that would be pretty silly, but you can, as the board, that is your ability to do. And I said, okay. He said he would get back to me as soon as he has any more information. And just so everybody knows, he's a very slippery fellow. If he's in the office for 5 minutes and you call, he disappears. I played phone tag with him for days until he finally caught up. Anyhow, so that's where we stand on the possible contract for services. I have not contacted John Flynn, and the reason for that is because John Flynn does one thing, and he does one thing well, and that is he takes care of districts that are failing. We are not failing.
No, we don't need to pay the high
So,
premium,
and
we
we
pay
don't,
for that.
right, and as long as Chief Moore is willing to help us out with direction, I think we should continue to go that way. But that's my opinion.
Do you know when the Golden Valley Board of Directors meets?
Don't.
Fourth Thursday of every month.
The 4th Thursday?
Fourth Thursday of every month.
Okay. Well, he said that we wouldn't have any more information until the middle of April.
Okay.
We couldn't expect any kind of answer from them until then.
And he's going to be your contact, Chief Moore?
Yes.
All right.
He
Mr.
said-
Chair,
Yes.
you also directed Karen to reach out to county fire officers and Arizona Fire Chiefs Association.
Correct.
I believe Karen may have some information and updates on that.
Karen?
Hello?
Yes. Do you have some information for us?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you believe you have some information for us regarding the 2 organizations we asked you to reach out to?
Yes. I reached out to the County Officers Association and I talked to Chief Martin. He's the chief for Mohave Valley Fire District. He's the president of the County Officers Association. They actually had a meeting yesterday. I gave him the information, what the board was kind of looking for. He presented the idea to that organization. They are on board with helping you guys. They he would like to, it will be him and one other person. The other person that he had selected or had in mind to assist with it recused himself due to a conflict of interest. So he would like to know from the board if there could be a possibility of a special meeting to sit down with him and some other people, go over everything for the vetting process and narrow things down for you all, explain everything, any questions, anything like that, the application, the description, any questions you might have, and that way you're headed in the right direction. So he asked me to see if you guys could possibly table some of these items, have a special meeting with them, and throw out some dates that would be available.
And I made mention, we have a budget workshop on the 11th, and I didn't know if the board members would be able to clear some time on that same day. We might be able to, instead of having multiple meetings, we might be able to have a meeting regarding that and then move into the budget workshop. So I asked Karen to check with Chief Martin to see if that day might work for him. He wanted to be here today, but he had obligations that he could not get away from to be here for you guys today. So if you guys are okay with April 11th, we can check back with Chief Martin and see if that day works for him, and then we can kind of coordinate a time and coordinate into that to the budget workshop or prior to the budget workshop, or if you guys have to choose another day, we can start emailing back and forth and try to figure out a different date.
And who's Chief Martin with?
Chief Martin, Mohave Valley Fire District, down along the river.
He used to work for us, so he's familiar with our situation.
No, that's Dave Martin.
Yeah, Dave.
You're-
Isn't that Chief
no.
Martin? Oh, I'm
Chief-
sorry. I thought Dave Martin was.
Dave Martin is the chief in Golden Valley.
Oh, okay.
Ted Martin is the one we're speaking of as the chief of Mohave Valley. He worked for Golden Valley for a while. He comes from back east, and he's been down in Mohave Valley for a few years now as the chief there.
Is he related to Dave?
No.
So basically, just want to clarify, they're offering to be the screening process, like the search committee.
He's offering to help you guys with all aspects of the hiring process, to give you information, to help you navigate the entire hiring process.
Time is of the essence,
I agree.
and I think that we need to do that sooner than the budget workshop. Is there any way that Karen can contact him and see what dates he has available the next week?
Karen, did you copy that?
For next week?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and see what dates he's got available, and then do you want me to contact the chair and we kind of go from there and arrange a special meeting?
See if you get an answer from him while we're here. That would be great.
Attended it at least. Friday's not good for me. I can't do Friday, but next week.
Well, he's in meetings right now.
Oh.
That's why he couldn't be here today.
I can try to reach out right now, or at least to his admin staff.
Okay.
I can drop off the line and call back if that works.
Well, we know he's in that meeting today, right? With the insurance
He
company?
had that meeting at 8 o'clock.
Okay, so he might be done with that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I guess if the chair approves, we can take a short recess.
Yeah, let's recess for 10 minutes.
Sure. Sure.
Copy that, Karen?
Got it. I'll call right back.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Have to get the sun.
Yeah, that's an idea. Go out and warm up.
Oh, chilly in here. Short sleeves.
Another month you'd be complaining you gotta get in the air conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
The breeze is a little cool.
It is, yeah.
How do you like the new ambulance?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm fairly new here, so I didn't get to experience the older ambulance as much, but I ride with River Medical at AMR at Eden a lot,
Okay.
and that's probably one of the better ambulances I've ever been in.
Very cool.
Is it really?
Yeah,
How does the new one compare with the River Medical ones?
well, that's what I was saying, it's better than those ones. The amount of room that you have to work makes a huge difference when you have a critical condition.
There's more room up.
There's a lot more room.
You
Yeah.
like it, Mike?
And being able to walk all the way around the patient, it's so like a van ambulance where you can only reach one side,
Yeah.
it makes it very difficult. Especially some people, you can only get IV access on one side, so you're trying to reach over their body to get to the other side. And so
If everything's
that
good
is
for you, just go ahead and
I
do
go all the way
that.
around the patient, and I can sit on either side of the patient, so.
All right,
I like
thanks.
it a lot.
All right, go back. He's clearing that call. The record's coming out of Vegas. It's going to be a while, so he's just going to get back. This is all done and over with.
Probably, 2014, I had a ride in the old ambulance.
Yeah.
You got your
Turn
it off.
I turned it off because my emails were going on.
Despite being intense. It's like,
It's not gonna matter what,
air shocks or anything?
doesn't really matter what ambulance you're gonna be in, it's gonna be run by the
It's on now.
big, and some Mohave County roads are very big.
Yeah, I know.
Especially stopping in
Black
practice,
shut off.
you make that one.
Wow, oh, yeah, yeah. I'm glad to hear that, we're certainly paying on it.
I mean, it's a lot smoother ride than the rest of them, because it's got that air, you know, that,
Yeah,
suspension.
yeah, yeah.
So-
You know, at that point in time, and what was going on with me, I was just grateful, and I appreciate, and I've always said I appreciate the services here. I personally have experienced them, and was so eternally grateful for that.
That's why you got involved.
Well, I can't say it was that, but I certainly
certainly felt it was important to give back to the community, and I mean, I haven't personally, and I was praying there was no wreck on 93, and I was praying there was no fire anywhere, so that they could